Winter, summer, spring and autumn completely changed the gameplay in Assassin's Creed Shadows. So first in this video, here's what opportunities you can unlock by changing the season. For instance, in autumn, it's more likely to rain. With rain and storms, higher class samurai will actually stick to the inside areas. Instead, they'll send out the lower class grunts, meaning you'll have a slightly easier time against slightly worse competition. Rain will also cover the sound of footsteps and other noises you might make, so you can use that to cover your tracks. Whereas in winter, guards will patrol a lot quicker around their routes in order to get back to the nice warm interiors. So guards will actually speed up in winter, making stealth harder, or at the very least, more unpredictable. Although there is something really cool you can do in winter, which is drop icicles on people's heads. This either kills them instantly, or it can also cause a distraction. Also, it's not confirmed at this point, but I can imagine your footsteps will also lead guards right to you, which would be amazing and something right out of Metal Gear Solid. If we're talking those early summer mornings, you'll encounter more sleeping guards, so you can take advantage of that by stabbing them. Apparently, this laziness extends right the way through summer, so whenever the temperature is hot, more guards will slack off. They'll have a little doze, so you can either sneak by them or take advantage of that by stabbing them. Another good reason to play in summer is the dense foliage. All of the foliage, the lush grass and the trees, they come out in the summer, and this goes away in the winter months. So if you want more grassy areas to hide in, definitely play in summer. Most side missions and anything else you get up to in Shadows can be done at any time of the day and at any season. You can change both the time of day and the season yourself in the menu. Some missions will, however, be at a specific time or season, and this is for either narrative or historical reasons. You will see a brief little cutscene where the day and the season changes before the mission begins. And there is a good reason for that. If you were allowed to switch the game to the night or into a different season, it would make things too easy. Visibility is of course reduced at night, and there is even a skill that gives you more damage at night. According to the game director, in a recent interview, he said during playtesting, every player would start to just advance until the nighttime before every mission, which they were kind of exploiting and taking advantage of, so Ubisoft ended up removing that feature. It's not just light that fundamentally changes how the game works, but seasons as well. Next up, here are the new stealth options in Assassin's Creed Shadows. You have new ways to sneak up on enemies in Shadows, and one of these is by turning out the lights. You can snuff out any light source in the game, including lanterns, candles and flames, and turn the environment completely black. In fact, the only way you can see anything at all is with the faint white outline around your character. You can also use your observation vision to get around darker environments. But that's not all. The light and dark mechanic actually goes way further than that, because enemies can turn lights back on. Now, if there's any game this reminds me of, it is Splinter Cell. I'm getting massive Splinter Cell vibes from this, especially Chaos Theory in particular, one of my favorites. That game was all about making it as dark as possible so you can strike from the shadows, and it looks like the actual lighting itself in Assassin's Creed Shadows is massively improved. People cast shadows on walls and light bounce realistically around environments. A little detail I really like is how guards get increasingly scared the more you mess with them. So if you use your whistle in a dark room, they will start to freak out. I mean, I would if I heard a whistle. The pace as well is a lot slower when it comes to stalking around nighttime interiors. So I like that in Shadows we have both the fast-paced outdoor sections where it's basically an action RPG, and then inside you can really take your time and crouch walk through rooms to find every stealth opportunity available. And speaking of stealth opportunities, there is a brand new assassination move. This one lets you hide in a box, and then when the enemy is near, open the lid and strike before dragging them in. Obviously, only one person can fit in this box at a time, so when you stab your enemy and stuff them inside, you will have to leave the box yourself. It's one person to a box. These boxes come in a few different varieties. In one of my playthroughs, I actually managed to find what looks like a coffin and use that to hide in before striking from it. Then I replaced them with myself in the coffin. I will say the loudness at which you slam the lid is quite conspicuous, so it would be good if Ubisoft added a sneakier variant into this animation, because, you know, you're going to draw a lot of attention to yourself by going around slamming lids. Canon mode is next, and this is an option in Assassin's Creed Shadows that lets you experience the story the way Ubisoft intended. What this does is basically remove all of the dialogue choices, so cutscenes will play out fully, completely absent from dialogue choices. One example of this is when Nobunaga is questioning Yasuke in the story. In canon mode, the game makes him automatically say his line, which is Yasuke saying he understands Nobunaga. In non-canon mode, where you have dialogue options, you can choose to remain silent. So basically with canon mode, you can play through with the de facto canon story as well as the characters who act as Ubisoft have written them. The downside is you won't be able to influence the story, so I'm actually curious as to how this will work in the full game and how much a canon playthrough will differ from a non-canon one. Another bad feature of this for me is that the option cannot be changed once activated. So once you start canon mode and maybe you regret the decision, you have to fully start the game over to change back. One thing also that you don't have to worry about is making the wrong choices though, because canon mode will let you recruit all the allies. So all the successful choices that you can make in Shadows are the ones that are canon. You won't miss the chance to recruit an ally or maybe gain a really good weapon in the game because canon mode won't let you make wrong choices. Here's one of my favourite details in Shadows. All weapons you have equipped will appear on you. You don't just pull them out of thin air. By extension, when you have two weapons equipped, you see them both sheathed until you're ready to use them. Both Yasuke and Naoi's outfits are designed in such a way that you use every weapon and tool on them and you see them before you can use them. They're not just in the inventory or shrunk down to the size of a toothpick. Speaking of outfits, one feature of these in particular that I really like is the cloth physics. These are easily the best cloth physics I've ever seen in an Assassin's Creed game, and yes, it is a small thing, but it all adds to the believability of the game, especially when you're going to be doing a whole lot of swinging. Next up, let's talk destructible environments. This is another feature you'll already know about, but you're probably not aware of the extent of the destruction. Like the way in which screens degrade perfectly, matching the direction you slash them with your katana. That's a showcase of the fine destruction in the game, but for a heavier example, check out Yasuke using his mace to smash these crates to pieces. There are also parasols that smash up, shop shelves, and of course fruit to slice, so you can really make your mark on the environment. And also we have the good old classic, those red exploding barrels that you can shoot with your rifle. We are talking ray tracing now, and Ubisoft put out a video recently showcasing all of the nice, new, lovely graphical effects on PC. The biggest is a global illumination. This creates the angle and recreates the behavior of every possible light source, from flickering candles to the sun. Easily the best looking Assassin's Creed game in history, but then again, you would kind of expect that. This has been in development for quite a few years. We also have a really underrated foliage movement system, which I haven't really seen that many people talk about, but check out how realistically the trees and the bushes move in the wind. So it's not just a great looking game, but it also moves and acts realistically too. So those are all the details in Assassin's Creed Shadows that I wanted to highlight. Let me know if you found anything that not many people are talking about down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and for more Assassin's Creed Shadows videos, subscribe to the channel.